Have you ever promised yourself something and quietly broken that promise a few hours later? Maybe you'd start exercising on Monday. Maybe you'd stop checking your phone before bed. Maybe you'd finally make time for yourself. None of those promises seem life-changing on their own. But after enough moments like that, something subtle begins to happen. You stop fully believing your own words. And once that happens, every new promise becomes a little harder to believe than the last. Most people think they need more confidence. But confidence usually isn't the first thing that's missing. Underneath confidence is something much quieter: self-trust. It's the quiet expectation that when you tell yourself you'll do something, you'll probably follow through. We rarely notice it's there because it feels ordinary. But when it's missing, every decision becomes a negotiation. Instead of trusting yourself, you begin convincing yourself. That quiet struggle drains more energy than most people realize. Here's something fascinating. Your brain pays attention to what you repeatedly do, not just what you repeatedly say. Every promise you keep becomes evidence that your words matter. Every promise you quietly abandon becomes evidence too. Your brain isn't judging you. It's simply collecting information and asking one question. Based on everything I've seen, can I rely on this person? That person happens to be you. Your brain believes your actions far more than your intentions. It usually isn't one dramatic decision that weakens self-trust. It's dozens of tiny ones. I'll go for a walk. I'll drink more water. I'll read one page. None of those promises seem important, but together they quietly shape the relationship you have with yourself. Think about someone you deeply trust. That trust probably wasn't built through one extraordinary moment. It grew through hundreds of ordinary moments. The relationship with yourself works exactly the same way. When you break a promise to someone else, trust changes a little. The same thing happens inside you. Nobody else notices, but your mind remembers. That's why self-doubt often feels so convincing. It isn't always fear. Sometimes it's simply your brain repeating the history you've shown it. If your actions have repeatedly said, "Maybe tomorrow," eventually tomorrow starts sounding more believable than today. We often think discipline is the goal. But maybe that's not the real problem. You're not trying to become more disciplined. You're trying to become believable to yourself. We spend so much energy proving to other people that we're reliable. Yet the person listening to every promise we make is ourselves. If your own mind no longer believes your words, confidence has very little to stand on. Sometimes we accidentally make promises that almost guarantee disappointment. I'll completely change my life. I'll never procrastinate again. Everything will be different starting tomorrow. The problem isn't dreaming big. The problem is expecting today's version of yourself to suddenly become someone completely different overnight. That's a promise very few people could honestly keep. We often underestimate small actions because they don't feel impressive. 1 page, 5 minutes, one short walk. But your brain isn't measuring the size of the action. It's measuring whether your actions and your words are beginning to match again. Every small promise you keep quietly tells your mind, "You can believe me." Every time you follow through, even in a very small way, you quietly rewrite the story your brain tells about you. Self-trust isn't built by dramatic transformation. It's built through accumulated evidence. We often wait until we feel confident before taking action. But maybe confidence has the order backwards. Maybe action comes first, and confidence quietly grows behind it. Motivation changes with your mood. That's completely normal. Some mornings you'll feel inspired. Others you'll feel tired, distracted, or discouraged. If you only act when motivation arrives, your brain learns that your promises depend on your feelings. But reliability grows when your decisions become just a little stronger than your mood. That's where genuine confidence quietly begins. Every promise you make is really a conversation with your future self. Keeping it quietly says, "You can count on me." Breaking it repeatedly says something very different. You may never notice a single conversation, but over months and years, those conversations become the voice you hear before every new beginning. Either, "I know I'll do this," or "I probably won't." Tomorrow, don't promise yourself an hour at the gym if you know you'll avoid it. Promise yourself a 5-minute walk instead. The goal isn't to impress yourself. The goal is to rebuild trust. Every completed promise quietly repairs something much more valuable than your fitness or productivity. It repairs the relationship between your words and your actions. It's easy to keep promises when life feels exciting. Ordinary Tuesdays are different. But those quiet, ordinary days are exactly where confidence is built. Nobody applauds you. Nothing dramatic happens. Yet your future confidence is being shaped inside those invisible moments when you quietly do what you said you would do. Missing one promise doesn't erase your progress. Imagine trusting a close friend. One forgotten phone call probably wouldn't destroy that relationship. The same kindness belongs in the relationship you have with yourself. Confidence isn't something you discover first. It's something that quietly appears after you've kept enough promises that your own mind begins believing you again. Maybe you don't need a completely different life. Maybe you don't need more motivation either. Maybe what you've been searching for begins with one small promise, and quietly becoming the kind of person who keeps it. Genuine confidence doesn't appear because you finally felt fearless. It appears because you've shown yourself, again and again, that your words mean something. When your own mind begins believing you again, decisions become lighter. Doubt becomes quieter. And confidence stops feeling like something you have to chase. It simply becomes the natural result of learning that you can finally rely on yourself once more. Less burnout, more life. Welcome to Life for Glow. Subscribe for more new videos.